Welcome in, everyone, to a special edition of Boston Boys Sports Podcast. Today, we are going to do the Boston Boys Sports Championship Tier Cities. Okay, since 1990, these cities are the championships of every sport, and we tiered them off. And when I say we, I mean me and my two friends, Steve Fernandez, Kiefer the Beard Bontos, Cold Reaction. And these are just facts, guys. So you can be as mad as me at you, as mad at me as you would like. But we are going to start in tier 4. And by the way, if you're watching this, like and subscribe. We are partnered with Jones and for Sports. We make sports better. Like and subscribe to them as well, and argue with us because we appreciate a good argument, gentlemen, and all the listeners out there. If your city did not make this list, you are a loser. Sorry, you are. Let's get right into it. Tier 4, you people in cities in Tier 4 are losers as well, but congratulations. Your team has won either one championship or two in the last 44 years, so it's pathetic. 1, Montreal, the Montreal Canadiens. You have the lone championship. Congratulations. You are partnered with these cities: Cleveland, Indianapolis, New Orleans, Seattle, Cincinnati, Phoenix, and Minneapolis. Those guys make tier 4. And also in tier 4, people have 2 championships: Anaheim, not Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Anaheim, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Atlanta. So if you're rounding this out, these cities are for losers. If you want to go there and watch bad sports for the last 44 years, you can go to Anaheim, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Atlanta, Cleveland, Indianapolis, New Orleans, Seattle, Cincinnati, Phoenix, Minneapolis, and Montreal. Boys, what do you think?
I'm surprised Atlanta's that low just because of the Braves.
Yep.
Well,
you think about other stuff. I get it. Atlanta sucks for football, so we all know that.
Atlanta's one of those sports cities. I mean, the Braves were good forever, but they only won 2 titles.
Yeah.
And far apart too.
That's why I think it's crazy. Too bad you can't ask national championships down there in Georgia.
Well, let me tell you something. Another city, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a big market. They got 2 in the last 44 years.
Their fans are a lot louder than 2 titles.
They certainly are, and they don't deserve to be. Tier 4 is for the losers, and I apologize to all you out there. Again, you made the list, but barely, by the skin of your teeth, coming from the Boston Boys Sports. Those are your Tier 4 teams. Now, the Tier 3 teams, it's a much smaller list. There's only 7 teams in this, and these are teams that have 3 to 4 championships. Still, not a great number, but a lot better than being in Tier 4. People are going to argue with me. Milwaukee and Green Bay, I combined as one. And people are going to say, well, what about St. Louis and Kansas City? But if you get the Rams and you get the Chiefs, you can't, those are 2 NFL teams, so they're 2 different cities. But Milwaukee, Green Bay has 3, so they are the bottom of Tier 3. Houston is in Tier 3, and if Michael Jordan doesn't take a hiatus, you guys are in Tier 4. I apologize, but sorry, Michael Jordan pushed you into Tier 3. That's why LeBron didn't do it. It was Mike. Toronto, 3 titles. Washington, D.C., 3 titles. Newark, New Jersey, makes Tier 3 with their 3 titles. The New Jersey Devils. And the only 2 teams to have just the 4 titles, St. Louis and Kansas City. So, boys, that makes your list in Tier 3, which is it's kind of okay to live here. St. Louis, Kansas City, Newark, Washington, D.C., Toronto, Houston, and the state of Wisconsin.
I can see it.
I have to say, from 4 to 3, you noticed you had that Tier 4 was, the fan bases are very weak. Then you get to tier 3, and they're better fan bases, more titles, and maybe it's connected.
I mean,
that's a possibility right there.
One of the things that was really alarming to me in all this is, like you said, Philadelphia, who's in tier 4, they are some of the loudest fans out there, and you're not better than Newark, New Jersey.
Right, exactly.
So as far as facts are facts, you can yell at me and say we're a better sports city. Newark has 1 team, and you have 4. And they have managed more titles in the last 44 years than you. So I'm sorry, Philadelphia fans out there, and you are a rival of Boston, especially the Bruins and Flyers. You are a loser city. Sorry.
The loudest doesn't make you the smartest.
Exactly. So tier 3 and tier 4. Tier 4 is definitely for the losers. Tier 3, respectable, but you need some work still. We got to kick the tires on a couple more playoff appearances and championship. And I have a feeling Kansas City will probably jump to tier 2 shortly in the Pat Mahomes era, because Pat Mahomes is that good. And I do think Kansas City fan base wise, they're a great team. Tier 2, it might break Steve's heart a little bit, because tier 2, you guys are champions. You're just not the top of the mountain. You're almost there. You're sitting at base camp, and you're heading up the mountain soon. These people, anywhere from 5 to 7 championships in the last 44 years. We have 3 teams tied with 5 championships. Tampa Bay, Miami, and San Antonio. 2 teams have 6 titles. Dallas and Detroit, the Motor City. And 2 teams have 7 titles, and that's Pittsburgh and those hiding salary city, Denver. There's your tier 2 base camp, almost at the top of the mountain. Denver, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Dallas, San Antonio, Miami, Tampa Bay. You guys are all champions. Boys, what are your thoughts?
The stat you said earlier, it's crazy to see Florida with hockey like that.
Yeah, we said it off air, so we want to congratulate the state of Florida. They have 4 Stanley Cups in the last, what did I say, 24 years since 2000. The country of Canada has goose egg losers. But tier 2, boys, what are we thinking? I mean, a city like Tampa Bay makes it. The Buccaneers and the Lightning catapult this city to you hear other talking heads say Tampa's like a clown city, but they win.
Oh yeah, and then the Rays won 1 too.
No, the Rays don't have one yet.
I thought they. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, okay.
Tampa's got 2. They got 1 with Brad Johnson and 1 with Tom Brady, and the Lightning have 3 since 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like the mention of these people.
Well, I think that's game 7. You can see by the
I think it was in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I think this is the third quarter, and they still hasn't got out of traffic yet or something.
I actually, when I did these tiers, I don't know if game 7 had happened, so Miami actually might have 6. We should keep them in the same tier, being the Panthers, because they play outside of Miami, but close enough. I could have given it to Fort Lauderdale, I suppose, but even still, yeah, Miami would stay in tier 2 regardless. You can't argue with it. These are the facts. These are the championship tiers. If we want to do fan bases, Stevie, you'll be our guy to do the fan base tiers. But tier 2, I mean, Denver and Pittsburgh are legit sports cities. Detroit is a good sports city. It's a shame that it's a broken city right now as far as the Pistons stink. The Red Wings seem to be in a rebuild. The Lions are finally back, and the Tigers just can't get out of their own way. But this is a good sports city. It's good for them to be good. Any arguments, discrepancies? What do you think? Dallas makes it too, Dallas is quietly a really good sports city, I think. I know it's the Cowboys of the 90s, but the Mavs I love the Mavs,
Yeah, the North Stars. No, I mean, I think that, like I said, I think fan bases are rising. I think in the conversation, I think even coming to tier 2, I think it's continued. The fan bases that have shown up in those those title cities have gotten stronger and stronger.
Well, because of the winning, but again, you look at Canada's fan bases compared to Tampa Bay's in hockey, and or in Florida in hockey, and you're like, why do hockey players even want to play in Florida? I just don't. I
don't think they do.
It makes sense to me that they're. It's okay.
Listen, if I could ice skate, you could put me in Miami to play. I'll show up to the rink in flip flops, t-shirt. That's fine. To me, it's these cities like they didn't make the list because they're an ultimate loser city is San Diego. Who wouldn't want to be in San Diego? I mean, give me. I know the taxes are awful, but I mean, it's like perfect weather year round. Nobody cares. So there's no pressure. That's why Adrian Gonzalez was so good in San Diego.
Yep.
All right.
In Boston.
Boys, we are at the top of the mountain. We are at Tier 1. And there are 2 cities. And the Tier 1 is ranked here 1 through 5. Okay. And 2 teams are tied 4-5 with 9 championships. Any guesses as to who has 9 championships? What 2 cities?
Well,
East Coast, West Coast. No, Pittsburgh was in Tier 2. No, Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Tier 2. So I'll give you it. One's East Coast, one's West Coast.
New York.
New York with 9 is tied with
L.A.
Not L.A. No. Right state, wrong city.
San Francisco.
San Fran and New York.
Golden State.
Sit in the top 5 with 9 titles. You guys are true champions. New York, San Francisco. Congratulations to be atop the mountain. The number 3 ranked championship city in Tier 1 is, Stevie, you already said it. What did you just say?
Oh, L.A.
L.A. sits there with 10 championships. L.A., you are a true champion city. Congratulations, the Lakers and the Dodgers. I did not give them the Angels, the Anaheim Angels, so I kept it as legit as possible for LA-based teams, the Kings. Congratulations, LA, 10 championships, very impressive in the last 44 years. It doesn't seem impressive, but there's so many teams out there, and to get 10 championships, fantastic. The number 2 ranked sports city, according to championships, is, any guesses, boys?
Chicago.
The city of Chicago
Blackhawks, Bulls.
Since 1990, they have put together an impressive resume of 11 championships. Yeah. They are a great sports city, and they're actually a great sports city too. Chicago is fantastic. I would love to go to Wrigley. It's just one of those things. Now, it's a kind of a cheat code because they do have 2 baseball teams, but the Cubs have only contributed 1, so I'm not too upset about it. And the skyline is behind me. We are the Boston Boys. We say it over and over and over again with 13 championships on the top of Kilimanjaro, Everest, any mountain you could name. The city of Kiefer, give it to them.
Boston, baby.
Boston, and they are well-rounded. The Bruins have 1, but everybody else has contributed at least 2. We are the best sports city. That's why we are the Boston Boys. That's why we do this and bring you this content. Tier 1 is ranked 1 through 5. Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York City, and San Francisco. 4 really good sports cities, and then San Francisco. They're losing teams. I mean, everyone's moving out of San Francisco, but they do have their 9, and I can't cut them out of that. Boys, what do you think of Tier 1?
Those Giants World Series were crazy because didn't they go like opposite every other year?
Yeah.
They won 1, lost 1, didn't make it, won 1, and then they lost 1, then won 1 again. That was just they were pretty good for a while. So,
absolutely.
Matt Cain, and Tim Lincecum, and that goes on for those Giants.
All right. So for those of you keeping score at home, your tier one sports cities according to championships since 1990 and probably for the rest of the time. These are your great tier one cities. Boston is number one. Chicago is number two. Los Angeles is number three. New York and San Francisco tied in the 4-5 position at 9. I have New York ranked above San Francisco. What do you boys think?
Yeah, I can go with that, definitely. And it's because of the fan base.
Absolutely. And there's no more, and it's a Boston fan. It pains me to even say this. There's nothing more iconic than Yankee pinstripes.
Yeah, I agree.
Kiefer doesn't admit it.
It's not easy to say.
It's not, but it's if you remember the movie Catch Me If You Can, where Christopher Walken says to a young Leonardo DiCaprio, "Why do the Yankees always win? Because they're too busy looking at the other team's too busy looking at the pinstripes." And they're an iconic brand, much like how Tom Brady and the Patriots would roll, and people would they would walk in the room and people would say, "Holy shit, we're playing Tom Brady right now," and they would forget how to play football.
No,
in Montana and those 49ers uniforms, those are iconic as well. There's a few out there.
Those Yankees stacked too, though. For a lot of those shit, they just have so much money that they literally so much money to get whoever they want.
I mean, is the greatest Yankee to ever win a title? Is it Scott Brosius?
He had one of the cleanest picks that you could ever see in your life with that bare hand.
Absolutely. Well, that is all we have for you on the Championship City tier since 1990. I'm going to work on my boy Steve Fernandez, and he's going to come up with 4 tiers of fan bases for you. Spoiler alert, number 1 is Boston. That will always be the case. But Stevie,
number
I'm going to have
30 is Miami.
Number 30, yeah. Do they even rank? I mean, because there's cities. San Diego doesn't even make my list. So there are cities out there who just don't make the cut. And if your city is not on the list, honestly, just start rooting for a new team. You know.
No.
Sorry, Salt Lake City. Maybe you'll get one in hockey. That is all we have for you, boys. Final thought on Championship City tiers.
Titletown, baby, Boston.
Stevie.
That's it. And like I said, I think it went from fan bases. If you notice how the list goes, the fan bases get stronger and stronger the higher you go.
Absolutely. And congratulations to the city of Newark. Very impressive. 1 team, 3 titles. You are better than a lot of other teams. The Devils need to be better again. Put Marty Brodeur in charge. That's all I have. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, follow us on X, YouTube, everywhere we are. Boston Boys Sports. Partner with Jones Info Sports.